Thank you. Yeah. Hi, ladies. Good evening. How are you? Nice to see you. We're starting from the beginning. Baruch Hashem. I wanted to speak to you about Sefer Bereshit. You know, the beginning of the 5 books. In a way, Sefer Bereshit is a book that doesn't have so much laws. And you don't understand what does Hashem want to show us. You know, if you would start the book from Shemot, for example, there's all type of laws, Rosh Chodesh, and we got the 10 Commandments, what we're supposed to do, what we're not supposed to do, Shabbat, Kashrut, this, that, whatever. But what do we learn from Sefer Bereshit? So Sefer Bereshit it's a very, very deep book. We think that we understand it, we don't understand anything there, especially whenever we speak about the creation of the world. We can't understand how Hashem created, why Hashem created this way. What does it mean, the word Bereshit? Some rabbis, they give 70 explanations just for the word Bereshit. And how Hashem conducts His world, what Hashem wants from us, okay? So, I'll try to touch a few points here, and I'll start with a story. So, 2 girls, tourists, came to visit Israel about 20 years ago, and you know, like usually tourists go, first they go to the capital city, to Yerushalayim. You know, religious girls, of course, they want to go to the Kotel, they want to go, you know, around in the streets. So they were walking in the streets of Yerushalayim, and then they got hungry and wanted to eat something, so they were looking for a kosher restaurant. Baruch Hashem, there's a lot of kosher restaurants over there. You know, walking around the Chov Yafo, they found a restaurant by the name Sabaro. So they went there, but it was packed with people, so many people. And the waiter, you know, the lady told them, she was very nice, kindly, she told them, you know something, it's very packed now. Go around, you know, go around the stores for another half an hour or so, and once I'll see a table, I'll keep it for you. They thanked her very much, you know, they liked the advice, continue walking, and going into all types of stores there. And all of a sudden, after some time, they heard a big explosion. There was a terror attack, the famous terror attack on the Sabaro restaurant. Many casualties, injured people, dead people, lo aleinu, from this, you know, terror attack. The girls were devastated. They heard that it was in this place that they wanted to go, and they remembered the waitress. She was the one that saved their lives. So they were looking for her to see if they could help her, if there's something that they could do for her. Didn't see her. The police blocked all the roads, didn't let people go in, and they were, you know, waiting for it, didn't know what to do. They decided to go to Hadassah Hospital. Most of the injuries were, you know, sent to this hospital. So they were looking for this, I didn't even know her name, maybe her first name only, until they found her. Miskena, she was severely wounded and she was waiting to be treated there. And these girls stood by her and visited her constantly. Every day that they were you know, wherever they could, they were in Yerushalayim, they came to visit her, encouraged her a lot, you know, prayed for her, and she felt good, you know, they felt gratitude for the fact that she saved their lives. And then the day before they go back to the States, they told her, listen, we have to go anytime you want to come and visit the United States, you know, you want to come to New York, you're welcome. They gave her their addresses, phone numbers, whatever. And they left back to come here. Unfortunately, her situation was very severe, and she needed a sudden operation only, you know, in New York. And she called them and she asked them if she could come and they could help her out. Of course, we're going to help you out. What's the question? They went to the airport, they greeted her there, brought her, helped her around. And the day of the operation, from early morning, they took a day off, both of them. From early morning, they were with her in the hospital, okay, helping her with translating, all the paperwork and all kind of documents and all kind of tests, that whatever she has to go through, somebody that in a strange country that you have no one over there. Of course, it's good, it's helpful. But then they saw the terrible news that day. The TVs were open and everyone were talking about the Twin Towers that just collapsed.
Oh, wow.
That day, it was 9/11. And these girls were supposed to work there because this was their job. This was their offices was there. Can you believe this? That twice this waiter, saved their life? And because they did an action of, gratitude, they saw a miracle. They had a miracle that their life was saved. Unbelievable story. So God created this world, okay, in a very, very interesting way. It's all based on something that's called gratitude. It says that Hashem created the world for 6 days. What He didn't create there? Everything He created, basically. But then it says that one thing was not created. What was not created yet? Huh? No. For 6 days, everything was created. That was fine. But one thing wasn't created. Why? Because no human prayed for it yet, which is called the rain. The rain didn't come to the world yet. See how it is. Hashem created the trees, Hashem created all the plants, Hashem created everything Hashem already created. But they did not sprout. It was all potential. It was all underground. Did not sprout. Why? Because there was no rain. Who needs rain? Only human being understands what's the meaning, what's the benefit, of rain, how it creates abundance in the world. And if a human being didn't pray for it yet, so Hashem didn't bring rain yet, and those plants and trees and whatever didn't grow yet.
So it was created the first day, no?
Again, the rain didn't come. They were created. The potential was there. It's just that they didn't come up to the world yet. So we see here a very fundamental idea in the way that Hashem conducts His world. Hashem gives abundance to a person only if he asks for it, if he is grateful for it, okay, and understand the need and the existence of this abundance. Unbelievable how things are working. Now let me ask you a question. What do you think was the most exalted event that the Jewish nation went through the history? Okay, we had few events, but tell me, what do you think? Give me some ideas. What do you think was a very, very special event that happened in Am Yisrael? Getting the Torah. Anything else?
Yehoshua breaking the walls.
Okay, this is a miracle that
The
happened.
10 plagues in Egypt.
Okay. Let me suggest to you something that's written here in the books. King David, okay, he basically built the foundations of the Holy Temple, of the Beit HaMikdash. It says, I read it and it's so beautiful, we don't even realize what contribution did King David to Am Yisrael. He created all the plans for the Holy Temple. He had all the outline, for the structure, for the operation of the temple, the Kohanim, the Leviim, who's going to do what, when, how. He sat with Shmuel HaNavi, and they sat and they wrote these things down, and they did all this stuff. And it says in Sefer Divrei Yamim that King David, he gathered all the nation, all the congregation, okay, and he told them, he gave them the outline that he prepared for the temple, and in this event, okay, he blessed Hashem. Every day in the morning we say this, Vayivarech David, okay, Vayivarech David. We say this every morning. Basically, he says that Lecha Hashem Hagdula, V'Hagvura, V'Hatiferet, V'Hanetzach, V'Hahod. You Hashem, you, all the greatness is yours, and the power, and the glory, and the victory, and the splendor, and you basically rule over everything. V'ata moshel b'kol. I don't have to tell you what King David did, how he was praising Hashem, right? When the work of the Holy Temple was completed, and conducted by King Shlomo, King Solomon, he wanted, in the dedication of the temple, okay, he wanted, to bring the Holy Ark into the temple, but the gates got attached to each other and wouldn't open. He didn't know what to do. So he started saying all kind of 24 type of songs to Hashem. It was not answered. He started to say, So Shalom Hashechem, open your gates. Was not opened. And then, only when he said, Hashem, please remember King David, remember my father and whatever he did for the congregation, only then the gates were open. The rabbis say that only gratitude, only because he remembered that special event, the dedication of the special thing of his life, he remembered, he mentioned his father and whatever he contributed for the event, for this thing, only then it was opened. Chazal Be'alkut Shemani of Tehillim, they say that whenever King David, he finished composing Sefer Tehillim, he felt so good about himself. He felt in a way also proud, 150 psalms of Tehillim. Some say even more. Whatever we have is only 150. He praised Hashem in all types of ways, in times of sorrow, in times of happiness, in times of all types. And he thought, he says to Hashem, Hashem, is there any creation in the world that sings to you, that praises you the same way that I do, that I did? Nizdamna latzvardea. At that point, he saw a frog. And the frog says, you, King David, you feel too proud about yourself. You think too good. You know that I praise Hashem so much more than you? Whenever I praise Hashem, I say 3,000 of allegories on top of whatever I praise Hashem each and every morning and night, constantly, all the time. The frog croaks and does all kind of songs and voices. And so, you think you're more than me? On top of this, he says, the frog, he says, I do something that you never do. There is a type of animal in the world that lives by the beach and apparently doesn't move. It's not an animal that moves. So how would it find its food? You know what I do? I go and I make myself available. I could leap, I could jump, I could run away. Somebody comes to attack me, to eat me up. I could save my life. Instead, because Hashem takes care of all the animals in the world, and Hashem wants me to be there because I'm the only thing that this animal could eat, I go and I stand next to it, and I'm okay sacrificing my life because this is the will of my Creator. This is the will of Hashem. We see self-sacrificing from the frogs in the time of the plagues in Egypt, time of the frogs. We know that these frogs jumped even into the hot ovens. They were not supposed to do that. Why did they jump into the hot ovens? An animal doesn't do usually something against its nature. Okay? If there's a hot oven, it's not going to come close to it. But they jumped there because Hashem said the frog should be everywhere. So they went everywhere, even there. And inside the stomach of Pharaoh, King Pharaoh, they were praising Hashem and says, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. This is the praise that the frog says in Perak Shirah. Perak Shirah is a special book in the Baraita that some say that King David composed it after he composed the Tehillim. And basically every angel that is in charge of any creation that is in charge of, whether it's animals, whether it's plants or flowers or all types of stuff that are created in the world, they praise Hashem in a different way. And so the angel that is on top of those, in charge of those frogs, they say Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto L'Olam Vaed. Usually, there's a famous pasuk, a verse that people say on Kiddush Hashem, Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. Right afterwards, we say Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto L'Olam Vaed. It's interesting that there was a time in the time of King Nebuchadnezzar, whenever we were in the exile of Babylon. So King Nebuchadnezzar, he made a decree that all the Jews should worship idol, a certain idol that was called Bel. And 3 boys, Jewish boys, didn't want to do that. Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah didn't want to worship idol, in front of everyone and to do whatever the king asked them to do. And they asked him, where did you learn this from? Okay, you don't have to come in the presence of the king, run away. You don't have to be next to him and not bowing down and making the king upset. Just don't be there. They said, no, we learned it from the frogs. The frogs, they went even into these hot ovens, so we could do these things too. These guys, they made such a Kiddush Hashem in this time of King Nebuchadnezzar, and they learned it from the frogs. See how every creation of the world, in the world, can teach us something. King David learned a lot from this frog, because who have thought that animals would say something, right? I mentioned before Perak Shirah. מה זה Perak Shirah? Every creation says praises to Hashem for creating. אמר רבי אליעזר הגדול, רבי אליעזר בן אורקנוס, okay? In פרקי דרבי אליעזר אומר, whoever is involved himself in Perak Shirah, okay, every day, okay, I testify that he is going to inherit the next world, he's going to be in the world to come, and he's going to be saved from all kind of troubles and problems and dangerous situations and stuff. And he's going to be saved from the evil inclination and the day of judgment and from the Satan and from all kind of problems. Why? What's the big deal? Rabbi says on top of this, whoever is involved himself in Perak Shirah in this world has the zechut, has the merit to learn and to teach and to observe and to fulfill and to perform all the mitzvot of the Torah, and mechibut hakever, he is going to be saved from מדין של גיהנום, from the judgment of גיהנום, and מחבלו של Mashiach. Days of Mashiach are not the easy days, and whatever. And you say to yourself, what's the big deal? So they say whoever involves himself, not says it, involves himself, meaning you live this type of way also. You keep praising Hashem for everything that happens to you. For example, it says over there, Shamayim, מה הם אומרים? Whenever the heavens that were created, what do they say? You look at the sky, not whenever we're living in a city, we don't really see sky sometimes. Go outside, you'll see sky, endless sky. And when Hashem created there, what do they see? They say, you see the beauty, how their route is, and the stars, and all whatever is in there, and how they do their route precisely, all the time, constantly, all the time, for thousands of years, in the right order, and everything. And it shows how Hashem created the world, because Hashem rules them, Hashem leads them, Hashem tells them what to do. You see the beauty, you see the greatness of Hashem through the sky, through the heavens, right? Same would be with the Aretz, same would be with all other stuff that are created, that say brachot over there. For example, I took something randomly, shibolet chita. Okay, it's a with oath. It says a song that was said on the steps of the Holy Temple, ממעמקים קראתיך השם, השם. From the depth of my sorrow, of my troubles, I call out to you. Whenever you plant the wheat, it has to go down into the ground. It has to rot. It suffers there. It doesn't like it. And from that moment, in the devastation moment of darkness and sorrow and whatever, it prays to Hashem, Hashem, I hope in you, I believe in you, you're going to get me out of here, and I will get even better, I'll get you. And better, that's what happens. It starts to sprout, it starts to grow, the oat starts to form in there, and this is how it praises Hashem. It's beautiful to see how these things happen. You all know the story about King David and the spider. Once he saw a wasp naturalizing a spider, and he got so disgusted. He said, Hashem, why do you create this type of animals in this world? Who needs them? So Hashem told him, one day you're going to need them. I don't create anything for no reason. And of course it was a time that King Shaul was chasing after him. He was jealous at his success and in the wars. He was chasing after him, and he ran away to one of the deserts. Over there was a cave. He got into the cave and hoped that no one is going to find him. Came inside of a cave. Of course, he started to pray to Hashem, please save me. And Hashem sent the spider that started to weave its web in the opening of this cave. When King Shaul went by, he saw this opening, but he saw the web. He says, cannot be. If a person would go through it, would tear it, and you know. So probably no one is there, and he skipped this cave and he continued on. This is how King David was saved. Later on, he went on and he came to the camp where King Shaul was, and he wanted to prove to King Shaul that the protection on him is not good. It's very weak. You know, security is not good there. So he sneaked inside the camp, and he wanted to be as close as possible to the king. And he got close. The problem was that his minister of the chief of staff, Avner Ben was there. And he was a strong man, Avner Ben was one of the strongest people ever. And as King David came close to King Shaul, he moved his leg and he put his leg on top of King David. He was a very heavy man, and King David was small. He couldn't really move. He started to pray, Hashem, Hashem, what should I do? Please save me. And then came a wasp and stung the leg of Avner Ben Ner. Avner Ben Ner just moved. It didn't really bother him so much. He just moved a little bit. King David was able to release himself over there and praised Hashem for that. Now he understood why Hashem created those animals in the world, and praised Hashem, you know, for these animals. If we read about this, I read once an article that wrote Sarah Yocheved Rigler. She said that once she was in the kitchen. I guess overnight she left. There were some fruits on the table. She saw an apple and a mango that were eaten up when a mice or something eats it. How you call it? Gone? Was
Worms?
No. It was eaten probably by a mouse or by something. And so quickly she called an exterminator. He told her from whatever, I guess the leftovers, the droppings, that it's a rat and it's not a mouse.
It's not what?
It's a rat. It's so much bigger than a mouse.
Oh my God.
So she got so scared. And of course he put some traps here, some traps there, whatever. The next day she was scared to come down to the kitchen because, you know, what if it was caught? She sent her husband instead of her. He came, he looked, nothing. He said, there's nothing here, nothing was caught. So she came down and she called again the exterminator, and he told her, give it some time, whatever. Again, she put some traps, she puts an apple there, she puts a mango there just to make sure. And of course, she saw the next day that some mango was eaten here, and under the refrigerator, and under the dairy sink also. So okay, fine. You put some more traps, whatever. She was trying one more day, and then the next day when she came to the kitchen, the whole kitchen floor was flooded. Apparently, this rat ate some of the pipe that was plastic under the sink, and everything got flooded. But it wasn't caught. The trap was just next to it, wasn't caught. And she tries this way, and she tries that, it doesn't work. So then there was no choice. He came with poison, and he was trying to put poison all over. Still wasn't caught. It was such a smart rat. She didn't understand. One day somebody mentioned to her that there is a Rav Mekubal that she can go to that lives not far from her. Maybe she can go and ask him, what's the story? The Mekubal told her, you have to do a tikkun. A tikkun? What type of a tikkun? What do I have to fix? He told her, think, what does the rat say on Perak Shira?
כל הנשמה תהיה.
בדיוק. כל הנשמה תהלל, hallelujah. You know something? You're complaining too much. Me?
Oh, wow. that's
Complaining?
so cool.
What are you talking about? I'm a complainer? I'm not a complainer. Who's going to admit a certain thing? And she thought this rabbi doesn't know what is he talking, but whatever, she went home. That morning she was supposed to go with her son to the school. The doctor suggested her son, from some kind of health reason, to walk all the way to school. And it's a 40-minute walk. And her son always tried to avoid it. He didn't like it. He was walking so slow, like I don't know, like a turtle we say in Hebrew, whatever. And it was hot, and she had to run, and she had to do so many stuff, and whatever. She was so frustrated, and whenever she came home, her husband came also. She wanted to run to him and started to tell him, what happened, all her frustration, to speak and tell it to her husband. All of a sudden she remembered, hey, what did the rabbi say? That's called complaining. We don't realize. And so she kept herself quiet. She welcomed her husband instead, cheerfully. Good morning, how are you? How are you doing? You know something? The rabbi said, Kol ha-neshamat ta'alel, hallelujah. We really should, be happy and praise Hashem and not be upset and sorry and complaining, whatever. Interesting. 5 minutes later, she found this rat dead under the refrigerator.
That is so amazing.
Okay?
That is so cool.
She says something interesting. She says that the approach of the Judaism is happiness and gratitude. She says that happiness is a connection and unity between contrasts, between male and female, between heavens and earth, between what's divine and what's human. If a Jewish person is connected to Hashem through doing the mitzvot, the action of doing the mitzvot brings him to happiness, because if there's no happiness, there's no really connection. Let's assume, have this scenario. Your husband wants to surprise you, and he bought a package, your vacation dream, I don't know, he found you a private island, I don't know, something like that. And in there he brings you special exotic fruit and special interesting food and these rare and beautiful flowers, everything is gardens and it's beautiful and it's nice. You know something? He forgot to bring you this chocolate that you like. Would you going to be upset at him? Right? You're not going to be upset at him. Okay, so one thing you forgot, but so much he gave you. In a way, she says, Hashem created for us all this beautiful world. We have everything here, everything. And whenever we complain about a minor thing that doesn't fit our schedule, that doesn't work out, you wait too long by the doctor's office. The traffic was too long. You didn't find parking. Your mother-in-law was on top of you. She was calling too often. She wasted your time, or whatever. We complain about millions of stuff. So in a way, it's like a smack in Hashem's face. Hello? He created so much for you. Instead of sitting all day long and saying thank you, like King David, we keep complaining about everything. So that's what happened. That's what happened right after Hashem created the world. Hashem put Adam Rishon in this paradise, Garden of Eden. Everything is available. You don't have to work. You want to eat something, you just pick up any fruit that you want. There's millions of trees there. You can pick any type, any shape, any color, any taste, whatever. You have nothing to do, You are in a vacation land and constant forever, I don't know. And there's nothing so much to do. Except there's one extraordinary tree that you're not allowed to touch. Why? Do you miss anything if you're not going to eat from that? Why was this urge to eat from that certain tree? What exactly happened? So, the fact that people cannot thank Hashem, or even, like maybe thanking Hashem, it's too far. What about couples? Husband and wife, parents and children, okay, neighbors. We don't like constantly, thanking people and the fact that whenever you don't thank, let's say your spouse, in a way it shows that you're not satisfied with him and you don't appreciate him and you keep complaining, and that's not good. You know that in order to enjoy one slice of bread, you know how many people have to work for this slice of bread for you? We have the farmers that grow the wheat for us. We have those people who in charge of these warehouses where the seeds and the crops coming to. We have the marketers, we have the bakers, we have the people who pack all those packages for us. We have the storage keepers, we have the carriers that take all these breads or whatever to the stores, to the bakeries, to the whatever. All these need special machinery, different type of machinery, right? And so the producers of this machinery and the operating people and the one that maintain those machines and the one that fix those machines and the one that supply, the fuel and all whatever you need for these machines too. Okay? On top of this, you have to add all these people who taught them this profession, who guided them, who told them what to do, how to do, so that they will be familiar and comfortable with their job and know what to do and how to do. And this only a slice of bread. What about all the other things that we consume? All type of paper products, all type of, we have furniture, Baruch Hashem, we have all types of things in the house, we have all kinds of gadgets, we have the computer, we have all, I don't have to tell you how many things we have, Baruch Hashem. And so, this, you can say, but it's their job. What's the big deal? It's their job. They have to do that. Yes, they have to do that. But they make our life easier. We have to thank them for that. But yeah, we have all kind of excuses why we shouldn't do, why we should do certain things. A terrible thing happened in the city of Tez that was in Lithuania about 100 years ago. A student that wasn't religious, he rented an attic in one of the buildings, but went through some kind of a crisis mentally, and lo aleno committed suicide. So after this incident, the owners of the house went to clean, the apartment in order to give it to someone else. And every day they see more plaster from the ceiling falls. They don't understand. They go, they clean it. The next day, more plaster goes, and all types of places from the ceiling fall some plasters from the ceiling. They couldn't get it. They couldn't understand where is it from. So it became a conversation for the whole town. Everyone would gather, would come and see this place. Those years, 100 years ago, there was this movement that's called Haskalah, where people, were modern, some were observing, some were not observing. A lot of them started to become not observing.
The Enlightenment.
And also were objecting the yeshiva that they were establishing there in Tez those years, including the owners of this house. But in a way, they didn't know what to do. So some had all kind of thoughts, why this plaster is falling, but couldn't figure out what could be the reason. No one knew, no one understood what happened until they came to Rosh Yeshiva himself. Didn't have a choice, these people, they know so much more. They approach him, Rabbi Yosef Lev Bloch, something like that his name was, and asked him what could be the reason of this plaster that falls from the roof, from the ceiling. The rabbi said that probably whenever this person committed suicide, some blood, I guess, dropped on the wooden floor of that apartment, and those plasters that they fall, they cover this blood, because blood likes to be covered. Usually we bury people, right? And if the blood of a dead person is exposed, it's no good, and it wants to be covered. So plasters fall onto those spots. They couldn't believe, what is he talking about?
That's amazing.
And then they went and they removed all this floor from this apartment, and they saw that some of the floors were orange from the stains of the blood of this person. Once they cleaned it, everything became normal, everything was okay, no falling plastering anymore, and nothing like that.
Why would have to bury the blood? I mean, why have to call it the sin?
Because this is how, Cain, whenever he killed Hevel, okay, it says, "Kol dmei achecha zoakim alai min ha'adama." He didn't know what to do in the beginning. Then he saw a bird or something that how it covers a dead bird. He learned how to do the same, and he buried him also. So there was this non-religious boy there that was, provoking and not religious. He met the rabbi, the Rosh Yeshiva, and he told him, so many people used to go to this building to see this wondrous thing, but I controlled myself and I didn't go there. You know why? Because I didn't want that. I didn't want this to make me believe in whatever you said. That there's there could be such a thing. Life, death. There's a plan for everything. There's Hashem. There's this. I didn't want to admit it. I didn't want to go there.
Obligated.
The rabbi answered him, "You don't have to worry, because every day in the morning you see the sun rising, brings so much light to the world, so much power, so much strength, so much warmth, and then you see how the clouds carry water and how it waters and rains the ground, and from these comes all kind of fruits and vegetables, and the ability of you're able to see things, you're able to hear things, you're able to smell stuff, okay? You see how Hashem created the world and how beautiful it is, and you cannot do anything like it. No one can duplicate your eyesight. No one can do something similar to it. And and you just look at the world and see how it operates, how every day Hashem does miracles. How does a baby born, complete, Baruch Hashem, healthy, no problems, how he learns how to walk, how he learns how to talk, all these things are miracles. And if this doesn't wake you up, and you cannot say, Maru Masech Hashem on this, you don't have to worry. Some plasters that fall from the ceiling will not make it to you. So this is what the rabbi says. Basically, he says, this is an evil inclination that you have, and you just surrendered to your desires, and that's what happened to Adam and Chava. When Adam and Chava saw the beauty of the world, they saw the tranquility, they saw the paradise and everything, and the ability to eat from everything basically over there. Okay, if you're going to sit all your life long and try to eat from each and every fruit, you won't have the time even, because of the abundance that they had there, and they wanted this specific thing. Why? So the snake came to Chava and he told her, you know something? It's worth it for you to eat from this tree, because your eyes are going to open. You're going to be smart. You're going to be wise. You can understand certain things. Why not? Be like God. It's important. But what it says about the woman, the way that she was tempted, it says, "Vatera isha ki tovet lemachal." It was tasty. That was the first thing. It says it was tasty. Then it says tava, she was desired it, and only then it says v'nechmad ha'etz la'askil. It is going to make her smart. So, it's not really whatever the snake told her to do that tempted her, but she wanted the tree, and that's why she ate from the tree. Don't find all of excuses. I wanted to be smart and I wanted to do this. So this is something interesting that the rabbis explain. Agaon Rabbi Israel Misalant. Okay. There's so much, and I'm scared that I won't be able to cover everything. Said once that he was traveling on a train, and it was many long hours, many hours of traveling in the train, and after a long traveling, so the train came to its destination. All the people on the train run quickly to whatever they have to go to. Rabbi Israel Salanta was the only one who came all the way from his cart, wherever he was, all the way to the beginning to say thank you to the driver. The driver was so shocked. He says, for 25 years I'm working on this line. No one ever came to say thank you. You're the first one who came to say thank you. He was so moved by the rabbi that he did such an action. And for the rabbi, it wasn't a big deal. Of course. Well, I have to thank you. Why not? You did such a great thing. This is all our life we keep getting from Hashem constantly good things, and we keep developing. Every year we think different. Think about something that's called a memory. If somebody, God forbid, we take it for granted. If somebody, God forbid, lose its memory, in older years, we see how people, they get Alzheimer and what it does to them. They lose their dignity. Miskenim for people who don't have memory. And Hashem, keeps giving. We remember every morning whatever happened the last night. If we wouldn't remember what happened last night, we would be miserable. Yeah. So Hashem gives us so much. So Sefer Bereshit, in the beginning, if you pay attention, it's so interesting what Hashem does this. You know what Hashem does in Sefer Bereshit? Thank you. In the beginning, Hashem separates, all the time separates. The first day, the second day, the third day, the fourth day, He keeps separating all the time. What is the separation? He separated the Mayim Elyonim, the upper water to lower water. He separates, the or and the choshech, the light and the darkness. What does it mean, light and darkness? It separates constantly. It says separating. Basically, separation is very important. It says במוצאי שבת הוא עושה המבדיל בין קודש לחול, בין אור לחושך, בין ישראל לעמי, בין יום השביעי לששת ימי המעשה. If we don't put boundaries in each and everything, okay, especially us, Jewish people, if we don't put boundaries, we can get lost. Imagine if we mingle among the nations. How would we survive thousands of years if we would allow ourselves mingle around the nations? In a way, it's a chesed from Hashem that yes, the nations suppressed us and made all kind of decrees on us, didn't let us to learn in their university, put us in a certain place that we were going to live only there, did all kind of restrictions on us. But in a way, that's what kept us as Jews. It says about Abaron Mirothschild, Shimon Binyamin Wolf, Abaron Mirothschild, lived around 150 years ago. That he was a very, very wealthy man, very, very wealthy man. And he kept his religion. He was strict with everything. You could not imagine that this wealthy man that is dealing with governments in Russia, in Europe, in all type of places, okay, lives in a mansion and has so many servants and keeps Shabbat and keeps kashrut and isolates himself and goes to shul with his talit. He's not scared to go. You know, we're talking about Europe. That was always very anti-Semitic. Always, you know, not these years, not today, years ago. He wasn't scared. And one rabbi on the way to Israel, he went once to be by him, and this wealthy man was hosting him. So, Baruch Hashem, the Shabbat, the meals, everything went fine, everything was okay. Motzei Shabbat, they just made Havdalah, they ate something, and the servant comes with how do you call it, a tray, a silver tray, with a lot of telegrams and envelopes that they got that day on the mail. Abaron Rothschild looked, went through this them, and they saw three letters, 3 telegrams that he got from the Russian government. So he opened them according to the arrival time. First one he opened. And something interesting. So Abaron Rothschild, he created a while ago, he saw that the world becomes modern, technology develops. So they created cables, for transportation, for transmitting, for telegrams, for this, like today, but also those days, for telegrams and stuff, they created those cables already that time. Everyone wanted that cables to buy it from him, but he gave a very high price to it, and they didn't want to pay this high price. Some time passed, and this Russian government came with a suggestion that they are willing to pay him a certain amount. Okay, they gave a very small amount, he wouldn't really care for this, and they wrote him another one. He got all of them that same day. They told him in the second letter, oh, we saw that you didn't respond us for the first letter, I guess you didn't like our suggestion, we give you a much higher price now, for a nice offer now. But he got another letter, and in this third telegram they say, okay, we saw that you didn't pay attention, you didn't read, you didn't like those offers, we give you a very, very high offer now, you cannot resist it. And he explained to the rabbi that if I would not keep Shabbat, sometimes you say it's emergency, it's a very important official, I have to listen, I have to do what can I, and you let yourself. But my servants, they know that we keep Shabbat no matter, and they wouldn't even bring it to me. They wouldn't even bother me. They wouldn't tell me anything about this. Only Motzei Shabbat. So you see, this person, he knew how to divide, how to put boundaries. What's important? What's not important? What is the Shabbat, and so on. And you said to yourself, okay, those stories belong to those years. No, today people go through this too. There was this lady by the name, okay, I wrote here Yafa, and this Yafa was working in a she finished a seminary, nice job, how you call Yeutz Mas?
What?
Yeutz Mas, how you call it? Advisor in
Guidance counseling.
Huh?
Guidance counselor?
Counselor in taxes? Taxes, yeah? Okay.
Tax advisor.
So tax advisor, whatever. That's what she learned. And she was looking for a job that only women work there. She didn't want to work next to men. She didn't want a male boss on top of her. She wanted just friends. So she, of course, couldn't dream to find a religious place, but at least, women, okay, that would be nice. And she found a nice little office, another 3 girls beside her, and the boss, it was a female, so she liked it very much. However, she would never mingle and never talk and never have chat with those other ladies in the office. They were not religious, and even though they were respecting religion, still she stood on her principles. One day the boss told them that she wants to invite them to this weekend in a hotel in Eilat. Eilat is a nice place, but it's not a religious place. Next to the seashore, the beach, all types of people go there. They don't keep usually Shabbat in these areas, in these places. She told us that she's not intended to go. But why? It's only us. There's no men coming, and there's all type of activities. I want us to get together. I want us to enjoy, whatever. She says, no, I don't like these activities too. It's not for me. You go ahead. So the boss, the lady, she really insisted her to come. She told her, you know something, you find your glad kosher hotel and you make your own activities. I want us to spend together the time because we need it for whatever, unity or whatever. Fine. It wasn't the only thing. Another incident like that. One day she was walked outside her office towards the bus stop, and one of the co-worker was walking with her. She told her, on your way home, aren't you with your earphones? In the office, you're always with the earphones. She thought that she likes music, and that's why she's with earphones. So how come on such a long walk she's not with the earphones? She didn't say, she wanted to tell them that she doesn't want to hear all their nonsense as they talk. People speak Lashon Hara, they speak nonsense. They saw this movie, they went to this, they did this, whatever. She didn't want to be, and she used to put, music, not to hear. So the lady tells her, you know something, you're too strict. The boss likes us to be together, and probably it will affect their salary too. So you have to be, we're not doing anything that forbid, but it's good. And she keeps, convincing her to be among them, to be friends with them, So she came home and she didn't know, she was hesitating. She consulted with her husband what to do. Should I really, compromise my principles? Should I be associating with them, friends with them? What should I do? Her husband told her, whatever you learn, whatever you know that is good for you, don't worry, it's okay. Sometime later, this boss fired one of the ladies that worked there, and she called her to her office too. She was scared. This is the next in line to be fired too. And she tells her, you know something? You know what I realized? All these ladies, they come to work, they chat, they take a break for coffee, they go to the bathroom, they speak here, they're constantly on their phone, on their WhatsApp, on this, on that, they do all kind of stuff. I see you so concentrated in your job, and the results that I see is so much more. You're able to achieve, you're able to do so much more as opposed to your friends. I want to hire you to be this executive director in my office or something, just because you really put all 100% of you into the job. In a way, she thought, that maybe I should be with them, do whatever they do, see whatever they see. If she wants to show you this video that she just got, and she wants to show you this song that she just saw, whatever. When you keep yourself, when you restrict yourself, and you put your own boundaries, Okay? This is important too, because this is creation too. Hashem taught us this in the creation. So basically, we learned a lot from the way Hashem created the world, what He wants us to do, and how He wants us to behave. Let's finish with Adam HaRishon. We say that Adam HaRishon, even though he was cursed by Hashem, you know, when Hashem told him, "Did you eat from this tree?" What did He tell him? "It's the wife. You gave it to me. What do you want from me?" So he blamed it on her. And that was wrong, because Hashem gave you this wife, and you should really appreciate, you know, he was not lonely anymore, he had fun, he enjoyed, she was good. When he understood that he was wrong, he fixed himself right away. It says that right after Hashem cursed him, even before he was banished from Gan Eden, he called her Chava. Why he called her Chava? En Kol Chai. What does it mean? You are the mother of all living. He recognized that she does so much to the creation, that she does so much to the children, to this, to that. He didn't call her evil, like, you know, some of the Christians say that Chava is Eve. No, not that you caused me sin. No, you are Em Kol Chai, you are the source of all living. Okay? And so he really worked on himself. And because he really worked on himself, it says, Onkelos says, right afterwards, it says, ויעש השם אלוקים לאדם ולאשתו כותנות אור וילבישם. Hashem gave him special clothing, okay, and clothed is with this clothing. Adam HaRishon had to look for this clothing himself. He had to provide, he has to figure out how he's going to cover himself, whatever. But Hashem made this kindness to him and provided it to him for him not to look for it and not to, you know, break his head how to do this here. This is when someone is able to sweeten the decrees. Why? Just because of the recognition of the way that Hashem is good. Hashem did only good to me. Hashem gave me Chava, and it's something good that happens. So whenever you recognize the abundance, whenever you praise Hashem for this, you get salvation. You get only good things from this. It says about Yosef Tzaddik that even though he was humiliated very much, even though he was sold as a slave to the Egyptians, okay, even in Egypt it says Vayehi Hashem et Yosef. What does it mean, Vayehi Hashem et Yosef? Vayehi always lashon vay, lashon tsar, lashon sorrow, trouble, okay? Even through his sorrow, Hashem was with him. Why? Because Yosef Tzaddik, he recognized the chesed that he got from Hashem. Even though he was in a trouble, Hashem was with him. You remember the spices that those merchants were carrying with them, instead of tar and whatever? So this is a chesed, and he saw it, and he recognized it. He knew that Hashem was with him. So even in the dark moments, in the pit, or in the jail, or in Bevet Adonav HaMitzri, Vehi Hashem Imo, Bevet Adonav, it says that Hashem was with him in his master's house, because he recognized Hashem and praised Hashem, okay? Hashem was with him and, you know, made salvation and make him a big king. So it says also about Adam HaRishon. Adam HaRishon, he made a sin. Hashem wanted to punish him. Came the Shabbat and told Hashem, you know, all these 6 days of creation, you didn't punish anyone. Now on Shabbat you want to punish? Don't punish on Shabbat. It's me, it's my day. It's a day of tranquility, it's a day of menucha, it's a day of rest. Don't rest. Because the Shabbat came to defend on Adam HaRishon, Adam HaRishon composed this song that's called Mizmor Shir Le'om Shabbat. This song was forgotten for many years, and Moshe Rabbeinu was the one that started to say it again. Mizmor Shir Le'om Shabbat. What does it say in this Mizmor Shir Le'om Shabbat? Tov le'odot LaHashem. It's good to praise Hashem. Okay? And then it says, La'agid ba'boker chazdecha v'modcha b'lilot. You say praises to Hashem in the morning and in the night. What does it mean? Morning is days of your the happy times, when everything goes clear, when everything goes smooth, you thank Hashem. But also in night, in the dark moments, when you don't see Hashem, when Hashem is covered, and you praise Hashem at these moments too. This is something that Adam Arishon said. And I want to wrap with King David that wrote the Psalm of Tehillim. And King David, he got his 70 years of life because of Adam Arishon. Adam Arishon saw in the future that King David is going to be born but die. So he gave him 70 days of his life. And King David turned all his sorrow and difficult and agony in his life to huge avodat Hashem. Keep praising Hashem for every second, for the sorrow, for the happy days. And teaches us what does it mean to say Mizmor LaTodah. What does it mean to thank Hashem in all kind of circumstance. And he ends the Tehillim with Kol HaNeshama Ta'alel Ya'alel, whatever we said before. Mekubalim say that Kol HaNeshama Ta'alel, the initials of these words, Kaf, Hey, Taf, is the initials of a holy name of a holy angel. And this angel protects a person from all kind of bad degrees, from all kind of tragedies, from all kind of dangerous situation. Even they say Moshe Rabbeinu killed the Egyptian with a holy name. This was this holy name. Every day we say it in 18. We say Ulecha, Baruch Ata Hashem, Atov, Ulecha Na'el Leodot. Initials Ulecha Na'el Leodot. It's good, it's worthy, praising you, whatever it's with praising, it's also these initials of this word. It says that Esther Malka sent Hatach, which is the same letters. Hatach was a special servant of hers to the king, okay? And this was also a protection for her to make sure that the king won't make something bad to her. All kind of stuff that we see with this name. Basically, when you say whether it's Perak Shirah or Tehillim or Kol HaNeshama Ta'alel Ya'alel, or Ulecha Na'el Leodot, and all this stuff, Hashem saves you and protects you from all kind of problems. Let's finish with the story that I read today. There's a guy by the name Netanel Sarusi. He lives in Sderot, and Sderot is always threatened by missiles from the Gaza Strip. And sometimes the more calm days, sometimes some more acceleration. But one day, specifically, he says here that was a big miracle that happened there. Besides all the small miracles that we see there every day almost in that place. So he said it was a happy day, a day of thanking Hashem. They brought a new Sefer Torah to this shul that's called Oel Yitzchak. And even though it's dangerous, Sderot, and in that specific day, 30 missiles, 30 rockets they threw on them, 30 rockets, still people of town, they came out, hundreds of people, to dance in the streets of Sderot. So after the dancing, thank Hashem, they went to this shul and they had Sudat Mitzvah. So they ate. And the rabbis gave all kind of dashot. They spoke. People came to say Mizmor LaTodah for this miracle, whatever. In the end, when everyone finished everything, they started to scatter and go to their houses. As they just leave the place, someone already locked the shul. Boom, they hear the alarm, Tzeva Adom, and they have to run for shelter. They wanted to go to shul, wherever they just came from. It's locked. They don't know where's the key. Who took it already? Who left already? They didn't know what to do, so no choice. They went to hide in all kind of other places, not in that shul. And then they heard the big boom, and it came very next to them. They felt it. What happened? There was no light anymore because, they turned on some flashlights. And then they saw what happened. In that place that they were all running to hide in the shul, it came into that area whenever they were eating, in the hole of where they were eating in the shul. And if they would go there, God forbid what would happen. Hashem waited for them to finish eating, and once they left, all of them, the area, this is when it came to this place. Now they thought at first moment, who in the world closed this place? But now, then they understood, Now, on top of this, what they saw, the whole place is destroyed, wrecked, everything is upside down. 2 pictures were hanged on the walls that hanged on a small, tiny little nail. The picture of the Baba Sali and the picture of our Mordechai Eliyahu, Zecher Tzadikim Levacha. Those two righteous men protected this congregation from who knows what type of attack. This is when you're happy. This is when you're thankful. This is when you have an outlook of gratitude. This is the miracles that B'ezras Hashem we're going to see.